Okay, we are back. So, what have people said about your business? Can you give me examples of what people have said about your business?
Well, because we're the only store in the area, people were very happy that we've established ourselves here in East Elmhurst. Like I said, I'm a third generation of this area, so we have a lot of support from directly coming from the community, and a lot of people are very happy that we're here because we are providing a need that was missing in this area.
Have you had any failures as a business? Like, what, any issues in terms of the operation of a business?
Well, I mean, there's been some mistakes. Obviously, I wouldn't call anything a failure.
What mistakes have you made?
Just with certain inventory things. We didn't have a POS system before that helps with inventory, and now we do. So a lot of things that weren't, a lot of things that we had to like write down, and inventory wise, we made some mistakes on that, little things. So now we have a POS system in place that really handles all those things automatically for us. Just trying to figure out the needs of the community, exactly what people want, and what sells and doesn't sell is always something that we continue to figure out. But I mean, I would basically say that's probably like the main thing. Is just inventory.
What did you sell in the past that the community did not like, or you felt the community did not approve of?
I wouldn't say they didn't approve of anything. One thing specifically, what I would say is there's certain products that we initially carried that, perhaps most people, and, different areas change. Different people like different brands. Down south, they like a certain hair brand. Up here, they might like a different hair brand. So those are things that we were just figuring out as we were going along the business, which brands are popular versus which brands are not so popular for this area. And it all ties down to like the demographics, age, the different things that women on this side of town are into.
How has the POS system, how has that affected the performance? Like, how did things function before that system was put into being?
Before the POS system, we basically had to do everything ourselves manually. We had to, walk around with a clipboard and take inventory of what we had and what we don't have. Now with a POS system, everything goes into the system and it generates reports based on, what's selling the most, what's selling the least, what we have zero of. It does employee maintenance as well. So there's like a lot of different functions that we had to, manually write out that we don't have to anymore. So it saves us time. It's just a more efficient system to have, when you have the money and the value in place to get something like that.
How did not having that affect the state of this business?
So back to the inventory thing. If we maybe missed a product that was sold out and it's not on the shelf, and we might have missed it when a customer comes in and they look for that product and we don't have it, obviously that customer is, not happy with not having their product. That's the main thing.
How have you been able to stay afloat in the last 3 years, especially with what has been a very shaky economy?
Well, I think that just having the community be so supportive, doing aggressive marketing. We hold a lot of free events in the store for women to come by and do free this and free that. Is also helpful, and we just continue to provide what the people want. We continue to listen to our customers. We continue to keep abreast with the latest things that come out in the beauty industry. I myself, I go to trade shows, I go to beauty shows, and I just try to stay as educated as possible.
You go to trade shows outside of the city?
I go to trade shows in New York. I've gone to trade shows in Atlanta also.
How have what advice would you give to somebody that's starting a business? How do you maintain a successful business? What would you tell a person in terms of starting a business? What would you tell them?
I think that having a good foundation of, the key business terms and a good understanding of what it takes to run a business is the first thing. So doing something like I did with Project Enterprise is something that I would suggest to someone who wants to start a business. Also, financing is key. Having enough financing in place for the things that you want to do is also really important, because you don't want to come into a business not having enough capital to do what you want to do and do it successfully. And the third thing is having a good team in place, having a good accountant, having a good person that does marketing, having a lawyer is important. So basically, it's having a dream team of people that will help your business flourish is also really important in becoming successful, I think.
What do you think is the state of the fashion supply business?
I'm sorry, say it again?
What do you think is the state of the fashion supply business?
You said the fashion?
The fashion supply business, the beauty supply business.
Oh, okay. Beauty supply, right. So right now, the beauty supply industry generates over $9 billion a year. And it's an ever-changing, ever-evolving business, and it continues to grow. It's a fast-paced industry. There's always a lot of new things coming out, and it continues to grow and it continues to flourish. It's one business that African Americans really, as the consumers, they dominate in. More than over 90% of consumers in the beauty industry are African American women. So it continues to grow. It's an industry that I love. And, I think that, anyone who's interested in beauty supplies should really get into it.
Wonderful thing. What businesses did your parents and your other family members, what business were they involved in? You said they were entrepreneurs earlier on.
Yeah, my father's an architect. And my aunt...
For who?
He for himself.
What buildings did he design?
I'm sorry, say again?
What buildings did he design? Any?
So many. He's been an architect over 35 years. That's what he started out in school. He got licensed, and then he, started his own business, doing work for people in this area. Actually, a lot of people in this area, that's where he got started. And he's done a lot of franchises. He's done most of the Popeyes franchises that you see in Queens. He's done a lot of the Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins franchises also. He's done a few Burger Kings. I don't know if you're from this area, but there's a nursing home, a huge nursing home on Denmark's Boulevard that he designed. So he's done a lot. My aunts and my cousins, they're all into real estate. And my aunt owned a lingerie store, apparel store.
Okay.
Yep.
What interests do you have outside of this?
Well, I went to school for finance. And I worked in a few large investment banks before I got into this business. So outside of being a business owner and being into the beauty industry, I'm into the finance industry.
Any interest outside of business or finance?
No. That's it.
Okay, and thank you for
Thank you.
your
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Hold on. Wait, where do you live, by the way? Do you live, where in Queens do you live?
I live here in East Elmhurst. I'm a third generation of this area, so I was raised here. My father was raised here, and his parents.
Okay, once again, thank you. Can I take your photo?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let me stop the recording.